Assalamu alaikum viewers. My name is Sakif Yaz Arningwala, and as a part of Rehan AI teacher training, I'm back with another TEDx review video. And today the TED talk that I am going to review is New Power by Jeremy Heimans. This presentation challenges the way we think about power, leadership, influence, and change in today's connected world. Rather than focusing on technology alone, Jeremy explains how the internet and digital communities have transferred who holds power and how it is exercised. For centuries, power followed a familiar pattern. Governments, corporations, institutions, and influential leaders held authority, made decisions, and directed everyone else. Information flowed from top down, and ordinary people had limited opportunities to participate. Jeremy refers to this traditional model as old power. Old power is something that is accumulated, protected, and carefully controlled. It relies on hierarchy, exclusivity, and central decision making. The more power you possess, the more you try to preserve it. This model had shaped politics, business, education, and many other aspects of the society for generations. However, Jeremy argues that we are now witnessing the rise of completely different model called new power. Unlike old power, new power is built on participation rather than control. It grows stronger as more people contribute. Instead of simply receiving information, people now create it, share it, and improve it and distribute it across networks. Jeremy uses a memorable comparison by saying that old power behaves like a currency. It is owned and stored, while new power behaves like electricity, constantly flowing through people as they collaborate and participate. One of the most powerful messages in this talk is that influence today is no longer determined only by titles or positions. Instead, it is increasingly dependent on the ability to engage communities, inspire participation, and bring people together around a common purpose. To make this idea easier to understand, Jeremy shares several real world examples. He discusses organizations and platforms that became successful by enabling millions of people to contribute rather than to simply consume. Instead of relying solely on centralized control, these platforms create value because users actively participate, whether by sharing resources, creating content, finding projects, or solving problems together. These examples demonstrate that collaboration has become one of the most valuable resources in the modern world. The collective effort of thousands or even millions of ordinary people can often achieve results that were once possible only for large institutions. Another important point Jeremy makes is that technology itself is not the real revolution. The real transformation lies in human behavior. Digital platforms simply provide the tools, but it is the people who choose to connect, collaborate, organize, and to create meaningful change. This distinction is incredibly important. Many discussions focus only on new technologies, but Jeremy reminds us that technology is variable because it empowers people to participate in ways that were previously impossible. As I listened to this presentation, I found myself thinking how these ideas apply to education. Traditionally, classrooms often followed the old power model, where teachers deliver information and students passively receive it. Today, however, learning is become much more interactive. Students collaborate on projects, create digital content, share ideas globally, and even teach one another through online communications. Education is increasingly become a shared experience rather than one-way transfer of knowledge that it used to be. The same shift can also be seen in business. Successful organizations no longer focus only on selling products. They build communities, encourage customer feedback, invite innovation, and create opportunities for people to become active participants rather than passive consumers. Leadership is also evolving. In the past, leaders were expected to have all the answers and issue instructions from the top. Jeremy suggests that today the most effective leaders create environments where often others contribute their ideas, solve problems together, and take ownership of the mission. Modern leadership is becoming less about authority and more about enabling collaboration. Another aspect of this TED talk that I particularly enjoyed is Jeremy Heimans' presentation style. His delivery is calm, confident, and engaging. He avoids unnecessary jargon and explains complex concepts using simple language and memorable analysis. Instead of overwhelming the audience with stats, he relies on storytelling and practical examples that make the message easy to understand and remember. The structure of the presentation is also excellent. Every section naturally leads to the next, making it easy for the audience to follow the discussion. Jeremy builds his argument step by step, introducing a concept, supporting it with examples, and then connecting it to the broader social changes. The smooth presentation keeps viewers engaged throughout the talk. What makes a presentation especially relevant today is that many of the Jeremy's predictions have become even more visible. Artificial intelligence, open source software, online education, crowdfunding, creator economics, and global digital communities all demonstrate the growing importance of participation. People no longer simply consume products or information, they actively create, improve, and share them with others all at the same time. The shift also brings new possibilities. Greater participation can produce incredible innovation and social progress, but it can also amplify misinformation, division, and manipulation if it is used irresponsibly. Jeremy does not present new power as a perfect solution. Instead, he encourages us to understand both its opportunities and its challenges. Another idea that I appreciate is that Jeremy does not argue that old power should completely disappear. Many institutions still require expertise, structure, accountability, and clear decision making. Rather than replacing old power entirely, he suggests that future belongs to organizations capable of combining institutional strength with meaningful public participation. That balance is perhaps the most important lesson from this presentation. The strongest organizations and leaders will not simply control people, nor will they rely entirely on crowds. Instead, they will know when to lead, when to listen, and how to create opportunities for people to contribute in a meaningful way. If I had to summarize Jeremy's message in one sentence, it would be this: the future belongs to those who can inspire participation rather than simply exercise authority. Power is no longer defined only by the resources you control. Increasingly, it is defined by your ability to build trust, mobilize communities, encourage collaboration, and create shared purpose. Overall, I found this TED Talk to be insightful, practical, and highly relevant to the world we live in today. Whether you are a student, educator, or entrepreneur, leader, policymaker, or content creator, the idea presented here often offers valuable lessons about leadership, influence, and the changing nature of society. I hope you enjoyed today's review video and got something to learn from it. Until next time, I will be back with another review session. Until then, see you soon. Signing off. Allah Hafiz.